Good morning. You're watching Morning at NTV, and time to take note. A few years back, I was invited for an event. I was actually nominated, and I even won an award. But that wasn't even the highlight. Actually, that didn't come close to the highlight that evening, because I saw young people take charge of an event and do it from start to end. I saw young, ambitious journalists who looked like they were well-trained, young people who were ambitious, who had a dream, who wanted to tell their own story. And I thought, where was this when I was growing up, when I was starting out in this business? But I thought, great, that means the future generation is well-equipped. A young man decided to start an initiative because of a lack. I mean, if you're going to start anything, start as a solution. But before I introduce you to who it is, the former president of the US knows who he is. Here goes.
Over the last few days, 200 young people from across this continent who are doing the hard work of making change in their communities, who reflect Madiba's values, who are poised to lead the way. People like Abbas Mpindi, a journalist from Uganda who founded the Media Challenge Initiative to help other young people get the training they need to tell the stories that the world needs to know.
I think our only issue there is if he said Mpindi, right? But brilliant that they recognized a Ugandan making a change. So who is this Ugandan? Some of you might have actually seen him here and there, heard stories here and there. I thought I'd bring him here as much as we can, squeeze into this time to get to know Abbas Mpindi. Good morning.
Good morning, Flavia.
Media Challenge Initiative.
Yes.
So are you friends with Obama?
I can say we are,
right.
And the other 200 other young leaders that were in the same
okay.
space.
All right. So before we get to that as a milestone, normally when people see a story get to that point, they don't really see the ruffles that started the story. So you have a Media Challenge Initiative which trains journalists?
Yes.
Or upcoming journalists as well?
Young journalists.
Young journalists.
Any other person interested.
What is your background?
I mean, I must also say this is like the most powerful introduction that I've ever had. So
oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. My background is really diverse. So I studied adult and community education.
Adult and community, okay, let's not
for my
go there.
bachelor's degree. And then I moved on because journalism was really, really my passion to do a diploma in journalism at School of Journalism. So while there, that's how the story of the Media Challenge Initiative really started. But after that, I went and did 2 masters at the same time. So I have a master's in international relations and diplomatic studies, and then also international development. So that's basically my background.
Okay, so you said journalism was a passion.
Yeah.
And some people might not know that journalism has very many categories, and that it's not just me who's here. Journalism has many faces.
Yeah.
What exactly in journalism were you attracted to, or did you have a passion to?
I think my passion was in writing.
Oh, okay.
I love to listen to people's stories and produce them through writing. So that was where my passion is. But like any other young person, I think I also wanted to be on TV or on radio. But that didn't come to pass. So
how come? No one gave you an opportunity? You didn't look
so
for it?
I went to ask for an internship, and that's where the Media Challenge story really starts.
Right.
I went to ask for an internship, and I was told that I needed to be recommended by someone inside. So that's why I stopped. And from there on, as I walked back to UMCAT, I started to ask myself how many other young people were going through similar challenges. And when we finished looking at this challenge, I knew that the solution was get students to showcase their talent and have media to come and see what they have on the table. So if you're a media manager, for example, and I surrounded you with over 10 talented young people, you're going to be having a lot of talent around you, and it would be hard for you to choose, let's say, a relative or someone that you know on the side who
might be less qualified or less talented.
So,
I hear you.
And when I reached school, I worked with my friends that I started with the Media Challenge Initiative. We went to Bale Francis, the late Bale Francis, and we said we have this idea to organize a news anchoring competition, and he just said, use my name. Which we really wanted, and I thought that was really humbling for him to risk his name and his brand to give it to us. And until now, we owe our success to the late Bale Francis. Until we came here to NTV, and Maurice welcomed us with open hands.
Maurice Mugisha, we have two Maurices.
Maurice Mugisha has also been a bedrock in our story as we started since 2013 up to now. So that's really the story behind the Media Challenge Initiative, where we started just doing competitions, and now we have the Media Challenge Awards every year. We have a Media Challenge Academy in Kansanga where we train young journalists, and we have a fellowship program now that
we'll get there, but
yes.
I'm wondering whether when you start this, because you and your friends are seeing the need, but did you get an influx of people saying, yeah, I would like to show that I can do this? Were there very many young people actually receptive to your initiative?
Yes, so the need is there.
Okay.
And when we went to universities to pitch this idea, it was just timely. People were interested. We were young people still in our universities. And when we went, you would think that they would probably say, you're a young person, how...
What do you know?
Yeah, and there was acceptance, not just from the students that they lacked the skills, they don't practice, but even the lecturers themselves said, we need this platform to engage our students from different campuses to work together. So definitely there was a need.
So do you genuinely believe, of course, now it's been years later, and you've obviously worked with media managers and those who work in the media, do you believe there's enough places to actually recruit or sustain the number of people being trained? Is there enough space in the journalism world?
I think there is enough space, especially if you're good.
So because there was a problem where people were saying, oh, you can only have 10 anchors in the country, or you can only have 30 reporters, or you can only have... The spaces feels like are the same spaces, that we're not creating new spaces.
One, I think that if you're good enough, someone will take you somewhere, and they will create space for you, either as an anchor or sports anchor or a business anchor or a reporter generally, or there will be a show for you that fits your skill. But I also think the media industry is growing now beyond the mainstream media that we have to online media that young people can take advantage of. So if the traditional spaces are not enough in terms of, oh, we don't have employment opportunities, there is space now online that people are able to freelance with international media organizations. So I don't believe that there is no space or there is no opportunity for young people. I think that we need to take a step to show that this is the talent I have. For people that have shown that, the doors are always open for them.
Okay. Just to put things into perspective, if you have watched one of our reporters, Walter Mwesiji, actually is from the Media Challenge Initiative. And if you're on the hashtag Morning at NTV, the person behind that digital desk, Justin, is actually also from the Media Challenge Initiative, and a couple of others as well who have been with you. But you don't have a practice training in journalism. So who helps you do the training? I mean, where's the resource coming from?
So I am the face of the organization.
Okay, okay.
So there is, I have partners. So one is Simon. Simon used to work on Sanyu FM as a radio anchor. Okay. So he trains in broadcast radio, and also then we have Antonio, who is an award-winning journalist who trains in TV, mobile journalism, reporting, and social media. There's a whole team, 10, 13 people at the office who really manage trainings. And I think one of the best things that have happened to the Media Challenge Initiative is having that team on the side who are waking up every day to make sure that our programs are running. So for me, I think I can be out of the picture anytime. And that team is really on the ground to make sure that our universities are engaged. The partners as well here are running business to make sure our partnerships are moving.
The biggest point of journalism, and I think even Barack Obama hinted as he was mentioning your name and said these are young people who, and especially you said, changing the way we tell our stories. When you're training, are you conscious of what kind of stories we should be telling? And then what kind of stories do you believe as journalists here, especially in Uganda, our case, should we be telling?
we have in our fellowship program, even in our program, we have two things. One is what we call solutions journalism. And I think I was telling the team that I see at NTV there is a concept of solutions in the morning. And the idea is really to move away from covering problems, you know, murder and rape and corruption and all these things. It's not that they should not get airtime or be covered. It's just that for each problem that's on the world, there are like 100 and thousands of solutions, and we don't get to cover them because maybe someone thinks, oh, that's PR or anything. But there is a whole movement of now solutions journalism based on scientific research that people are really tired of seeing all these negative stories. And people are moving to positive stories or solutions that are really have evidence on the ground. So we train them on solutions journalism at our academy. We've also started a partnership with Solutions Journalism Network in the US, and we are the first community hub in Africa to train that. And we work with Karobe Young as well to not only train journalists in the mainstream, but also go in the universities and spread that kind of gospel. Then we also emphasize African stories. And of course that has been debatable.
Yes.
On like what is typical African
What
stories.
is the true African story?
So
where we have no hair and we...
What we have done is really expose them to people who have covered international, Ugandan journalists who have covered stories on an international level, or even here to just say what are African stories, or what are the stories that we would like the world to see about our country and our continent. Personally, I think that as journalists, we should be able to cover objectively and balance stories, but we should put our continent first.
Of course.
Because no one does that. So if the only thing we do from our countries are just like the bad things, because
that's the story we're telling.
Because that's the story we are telling. Then the world out there, that's what they know. So we're basically creating a negative mental image about the continent coming from our stories. So I know it's not just journalists, also filmmakers or poets and even normal people who travel the world to like say, oh, how is your country? And then you go into negatives. Yet they are very interesting, motivating things that are happening on our that really need to be told as well.
I want to squeeze in so much, we don't really have time, but I want to know, because you said, oh, we also connect them to journalists who are in the business to do this. Was it so hard to try and recruit some of the people who are already in the business or already accomplished journalists to work with you? Or was it easy?
It's been one of the easiest things.
Really?
To get mentors, because we realized, I think a lot of journalists want to mentor someone or bring someone up, but they don't have a structure in place to do that. So when we created the structure for our journalists to say, hey, we reached out, none of them said no.
Wow.
Everyone, we have 26 mentors working with our 26 fellows, and all of them accepted to work with this young person.
And you said one of our own, Solomon Kawesa is also part of this?
Solomon Kawesa, Sudhir is also mentoring one of the fellows. So for the next 1 year, they'll be working on 4 what we call media development goals.
Yes.
And they'll be working on those goals developed by the fellow himself or herself, to say, Flavia, I want to develop my career maybe in news anchoring. So you can do very many activities with that young person. Maybe they can come here and see you in action, or you can go with them in the field, or you can give them assignments. Really, like
to see the process.
Yeah, and I'm very grateful to everyone that has accepted to be a mentor, because that's what is missing there.
So you said university students. So someone is watching and thinking, okay, Bass Media Challenge Initiative, I think I could do journalism. And like you said, you actually went to school first for something totally different. There must be someone studying something else, but maybe their passion. Because I've met someone saying, oh, I'm studying law, but I really would have loved to enter journalism. So your Media Challenge Initiative, the academy especially, do you just take in, must I be from a university with my university papers, or anybody can walk in? What's the process of recruitment?
So the academy space is really open for anyone passionate about journalism
Okay.
or about media. Even if someone just says, I want to, develop my
Yeah.
public speaking
Yeah.
skills, so they come in. And that space, of course, the biggest number of people that come there are journalism students, because in some of the spaces where they are, they don't have a studio and they don't have a tutor that's always there to say, repetitive action, do this again,
Yes.
take two. So we provide that space.
Okay.
And we've also had high school students who have joined us. They're saying, when after my vacation I want to do journalism, so maybe this can be a Kickstarter to help me. So the academy is really practical, and we move away from a classroom arrangement. We create a newsroom, and they come and discuss ideas, and they learn how to develop a broadcast program for radio, and they then go to the studio and do everything.
Just so you know, it's not just you've been hearing news and thinking, okay, but I don't want to be a news anchor, I don't want to be a news reporter, I just want to be a TV presenter. Well, one of the ladies on The Beat, Tracy,
yes,
actually is from the, so as I said, it's everything. And you also said radio, so also if somebody's interested in radio programming or reporting, that's something you can do. So people need to move away from journalism being just the face of TV.
Yeah.
It has so many categories. You can also write, you can direct, you can produce stories, so there's different aspects to it. The fake news trend that's happening, it's most of the big media companies are being hit by this, big brands as well, because there's just people are not informed on the difference between a real story and there's also sensationalism. People prefer a story with a bit of juice to it. So are you incorporating this as because that's where your students or fellows now are going to. They're going in a space with a lot of fake news.
So what we do is we open up to like authenticity, to we don't know the answer to fake news and how to deal with it, because the moment it's there, I mean, people are just consuming it. So one, we are working with different online experts who come and share experience of digital security and safety, and how to deal with fake news. But I think one of the other important things is to put them at a level where they understand that as journalists they have to be like authenticators of information. If you have seen a story that's very clumsy coming from a parody account that's not NTV, as a journalist, what is your role to stamp in quickly and say, hey, this story is fake, so please don't consider that story? Because sometimes a story trends for a very long time and there is not even one person who is out there as a journalist to say something. I was on this venue, this person didn't say that, so please don't consider this story. So we also want to build that confidence in them, because sometimes it's really they're who am I? If I say this, will people believe me? So the confidence building helps them to say, okay, put their hand out there and say, this is not true.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Most cases we say that young people are interested in quick gains. They want things to happen there and then. You start a training and in 2 weeks you think you are brilliant. But we might have it wrong. You're the one working with young people, especially young journalists. What are you noticing?
I mean, I think that it's very true, because we are in a fast-moving industry and fast-moving world that people are we are getting materialistic every day, and because of that, you run to I want this, I want that, or I want to be Flavia in the next 1 year. What we've done at the Media Challenge Initiative is take them through goal setting, and say, you can't be this be realistic.
You can, but just not.
You can, but there is a process. So we say, as you come into our academy, one of the first sessions we do is goal setting. So the goal setting exercise, they draw a 10-year plan and say, in 10 years, NTV, I'll be the news anchor, all these things. And that helps for them, not just if maybe they never get there, but they have a process of this is, and then we say, okay, what are the things you're going to be doing to get
you to there?
But then over time, we also have leadership development programs. So part of the fellowship program looks at journalists as leaders. You're setting agenda.
They're
in
at
the
a point
world.
of information. They're definitely
but
leaders.
here you are, and you're looking at yourself as a leader, and you need to understand the process. You need to be patient. You need to see that some things are not going to be attained in just, and honestly, it's in their hands.
Okay.
So and it's their ambition that comes into play, but we do what we can to make sure that they understand that the world cannot be achieved.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So I'd expect you to just tell us probably how young people can reach you, but before that, as we wind up, probably what the vision is, because you're telling your students to have a goal for 10 years, and have you reached the ceiling? Are you hitting it, or there's a bigger dream for the Media Challenge Initiative?
Yeah, thank you. We have. I think we're just starting.
Okay.
We are very angry for like what we want to see in the industry. So the fellowship program now is our flagship, and we want to see. Right now we can speak about like 100 young people who have gone through Media Challenge projects, populated in different media houses. Now, in the next 5 years, we are looking at the fellowship producing over 200 other young journalists. Not just skilled, but they're coming from the same value system that says journalism can make the world a better place.
It can. It's a point of information.
And if people have that, if you have a group of over 200 with the same thinking, and they continue interacting together and coming back to Media Challenge Initiative for alumni dinners or events, and they're mentoring others to get into the space, then I think that can be revolutionary.
Definitely.
And then we hope that one time we can have a station, media house that can basically be youth-centered or young people-centered, and then you guys can recruit from us direct, so that we and our alumni program is as well growing. So one of the other things we'll be able to create is that bigger space where they can come work, do internships, but then be recruited from that space. So
woe unto you who's been complaining that we have over 70% of people in Uganda as youth and they're doing nothing. See, this is something. So for someone watching as we wind up, where do they find the academy? And for more information.
The academy is in Kansanga.
Okay.
Just after Kobio petrol station, before the Kansanga.
We are digital era. What's your handle?
We are. That's very important. We are at IMC, at IM Challenge on Twitter. Okay. We are Media Challenge Initiative on Facebook and Media Challenge UG on Instagram. Okay. Yeah, please do find Abbas Mpindi if you want to be anywhere in journalism. If you have a passion for it but haven't figured out where you fit, I think you can also advise on that. Someone can come to you and you can figure out their strengths. For free. Hi, we like free. So good. Thank you so much, Abbas, for being here, and continue the good work. Please come back soon and tell us all the fruits from the fellowship program. Definitely. Anytime when you invite me. Of course. That's it for Morning at NTV. Have a good day.